time I come to your city, I need them rollers on. No matter what you rockin', we rockin', I need them rollers on. Hey, hey.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Adventures of Rob W. And today we're going to be talking about how I survived Navy boot camp.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I wanted to kind of set a scene a little bit. This is the weather report for December 2013 when I went to boot camp. The lowest it got was about 18 degrees, and the highest was about 56. And then the month of January was the low of 11 and the high of 52. But that's not counting wind speed. So as you see, the wind speed is crazy too.
You go to military boot camp, you go to the base, and once you get off the bus, boom, all the yelling starts. I mean, you see people in uniform, they got rope, you don't really know what they are. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't have no phone, no sleep. I mean, you're questioning everything was going on, life decisions. You're like, what is going on? But hey, so what you do, keep your head down, just listen to what they tell you to do, and boom, you get in there. The first 48 hours, I say, like straight chaos for real. Like, you gotta do paperwork, you got your haircut, you got gear, you can get uniforms getting issued, and for like running off of like, you know, not much sleep because you don't sleep like the night before, anything like that. So you kind of just like, you know, frantic, don't know what's going on, but everything kind of calms down, you know, after a while. Then you kind of get in a mode. You're really just trying not to fall asleep because they tell you like not fall asleep, and you just want to do the right thing, you know. If you're worried about like the physical part or the mental part of being in a Navy boot camp, like the workouts are cool. They're not crazy. Like, you go hard on the road, like you just do your best. Like, they're not gonna like single you out if you don't. Just make sure you can do. It's just preparation for when you're gonna be able to do your PRT and you pass your PRT. Like, you have to pass the PRT in boot camp before you get into your fleet, or you know, you go to a fleet reserve or anything like that. So you really just got to push through it, try your best.
Get off my deck now! Get off my deck now! 1, 2, 3. 19 messages. 1, 2, 3.
This division of U.S. Navy recruits is in week 3 of their 10-week boot camp.
Get him up, Holcomb. It's supposed to hurt. Down.
They're enduring what's known as an intensive training exercise, or ITE session.
Push-ups. Get there.
It lasts for about 40 minutes without a break.
Up position. I told you yesterday I was going to get mine. Y'all been pissing me off for a week. Between not working together, thinking this a joke, and it's not. You arguing, not wanting to step up to lead. You either lead or you follow. That's simple.
You know, a lot of the mental things, you just got to stay out of your head. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you'll see everybody getting yelled at. You people, they're going to try to like break you, but you really just got to kind of just stay focused and remember your reasons why you're there, and everything like that. The first like 3 weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks, like you're just trying to get acclimated, right? So like you learning how to fold your clothes, you learning the food, like the food rotations, and like what time you're gonna eat and how those things get played out. And then so that's the first 3 weeks. You're gonna be sore, you're gonna be missing home, you're gonna be exhausted at certain points, but at some point you just gotta make sure you kind of like learn how to lock in. It's not bad. So during like week 5, you're kind of like, okay, cool, I'm pushing through it. You start learning some cadences, learn how to march, those things like that. So once you start marching, you start doing it. You do march every day, like.
40,000 recruits graduate before becoming sailors and officially joining the fleet. It happens here at Recruit Training
How to
Command.
do all the formations and stuff. You don't really do any of those formations when you get to the fleet. You just, line up. You know how to line up. Really, it's a lot of times sometimes they just say line up. They don't care about height line or anything like that. So you really just, kind of work through those things. But once you get to the fleet, a lot of that stuff you learn is really like irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? But another thing is the swim test. Swim test in my last video. You have to jump off the dive board, and then you have to swim 150 meters. Then after you swim 150 meters, you get out of the pool. Then you have to do you have to float. So you have to learn how to float. They'll teach you as well. But if you don't know, you have to do like remediation like the whole time you're there. So you go every day to the pool if you have to do remediation. And then, eventually the easiest method to do when you're in Navy boot camp, when you're doing the swim test, it was the backstroke. It's the easiest one. You kind of can relax and just kind of make your way. It doesn't really matter how fast you do it, as long as you get it done. So why not just backstroke and just easily take the way, just kind of be comfortable in the water. I did freestyle, so it was easy for me. I didn't have a problem. Just knowing how to catch your breath after real quick to go before you go to the next part is when you really should is the hardest thing to do, right? It's just making sure that you catch your breath, because when you out of breath, you you just can't really swim comfortably.
In week 1, recruits are tested on their ability to swim.
God forbid you're in that abandoned ship scenario where you do have to leave the safety of your ship. The Navy has deemed that we need to be able to implement a swim qualification to ensure your safety and the safety of your shipmates. Everyone in the Navy has to have a third-class swim qualification. The third-class qualification consists of stepping from an elevated platform, surfacing unassisted, swimming 50 yards, then doing a 5-minute prone on your front, known as a prone float, or on your back, known as a supine float.
I knew it's the Navy, you're gonna need to know how to swim a little bit. I had swam before, but I had never jumped off a diving board. Hitting the water, you're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. It's a shock.
But not all recruits are ready to take the leap. Some have to be pulled from the water during the test and sent to remedial swimming, where they learn the basics of being comfortable in the water.
We're just asking you to try to actually calm yourself down and realize that the water's not going to drag you under. You have to cooperate with it. We have a 99.97% pass rate. We have a higher pass rate for recruits that can't swim than the Navy has of making civilians.
Through after you've done all you learn, you're in a full swing of military now, so
Navy ship.
Hand over hand, positive control.
Y'all literally just did this. What is the problem?
Figure eight, one figure eight at a time.
Once they do get to us, there's that nervousness. They don't know anything about a ship. It's scary. It's a big old vessel in the water, right?
Remove the bird's nest.
We teach them about how to communicate on a ship, how to tie a knot, transitioning them to be a sailor.
This walkthrough, that was the easy part. Now the pressure's on. You up, you up.
Each recruit is assigned a role that corresponds to a real member of a ship's crew,
Make all preparations for getting underway.
with the objectives of getting a ship underway and bringing it safely into port.
Make all preparations for entering port.
So at the bridge at the very top, you have the boatswain's mate, and then we have our bridge phone talker.
Mine's 3 and 4. Singled up, good job.
They're going to be having comms with the other 3 phone talking stations down on the actual ship.
Attention on deck, attention on pier.
And the petty officers in charge relay that message to the line captain.
Fake down line going inboard. Fake down line going inboard.
Line captains have that script saying, single up all lines, take in all lines.
Double up all lines high.
Who the is talking?
It's loud, it's chaotic, it's hectic. Because when they're on the actual ship, when they have actual waves moving that ship, they need to be calm, cool, and collected and resort back to their training.
When I say prepare heaving line for heaving, that's when he comes over here.
You're gonna hold this so he can tie the knot.
It's all about communication as well as following all the safety precautions. Anything that can get you injured, you need to make sure you're aware of what that is, make sure your teammates aren't doing it either.
Watch your feet, watch your feet, watch your feet.
Just standing there, they can be injured. Somebody can go overboard. Somebody can trip up on a line. Take it from myself because I've eaten complete crap before, like falling on the deck of a ship, and it's not fun.
1, 2, 3.
Remove figure eights and round turn. Take figure eights off and then round turn. Move to safety zone.
But seamanship starts in the classroom.
What's advance mean? Stop. Okay, next. What's next?
Single up all lines. Forecastle I.
All stations, single up all lines.
All stations, bridge.
All stations, bridge, single up all lines.
Single up all, single up all lines.
It's like speaking a different language. You got to get the hang of it. It helps that everyone else is doing it with you, so the more you hear it, it's all around you. Eventually, you won't even think about it.
Just tell him the message.
Bridge, single up all lines.
It's Barney style. We break it down Barney style.
Barney like the dinosaur?
Yes, pretty much.
Single up all lines high.
Perfect, just like that.
This is called the confidence chamber. I don't call it the gas chamber. I don't call it the torture chamber. It's none of that stuff. It is the confidence chamber. The reason you go through this is so we can prove to you that the mask works. Does that make sense?
Yes, Chief.
In week 4, recruits are exposed to CS gas or tear gas in the confidence chamber.
Who's nervous right now? Somebody tell me why you're nervous.
I'm nervous about how my body's gonna react.
Body's gonna react? It's gonna react accordingly.
After learning how to properly don and clear the masks, the recruits head inside the chamber and wait for their turn to step to the line at the front of the room. An instructor pours the powder inside the CS capsules onto a hot plate, filling the room with gas.
Mask up, come on, let's go. Get that mask up. Get that cup up.
When they take off the mask, it only takes a few seconds before they feel the effects of the gas. Some recruits don't seem affected by it.
You do like a 24-hour battle station with, you know, all the guys, all the people you work hard with. And
a simple fire will break out on board the ship. Any sailor needs to be ready to combat that fire to save the ship, aircraft, submarine, you name it.
Controlled fires fueled by propane tanks simulate different types of fires that could occur on a ship.
A lot of them don't understand that pressure that comes through the hose. As soon as you open up that nozzle, all that pressure starts to push you backwards. They kind of hold it nonchalantly a little bit.
It was one of the most hands-on experiences we got to do. Part of the teamwork that helps you realize that there's going to be points where your life is going to be in the hands of another person. It's important to pay attention because if you're not doing things correctly, you're putting someone else in danger.
Recruits trained to safely fire the M9 Beretta pistol, as well as to assemble and disassemble it.
A lot of people that come through here have minimal to zero experience.
3-1000.
If something's incorrect, we fix it right away. If we see that some of them are kind of just a little bit too nervous, we'll talk to them, make sure that they're mentally okay, and make sure that they feel safe and they feel like they're in a good environment.
Why should Navy sailors need to be qualified to shoot weapons?
I would say most typically on watch. That's when we have to stand watch and provide some sort of security. If someone steps on board a vessel, anything seems kind of weird, kind of sketchy, then we would have to employ that weapon if things start to escalate.
boot camp culminates with an event known as battle stations. It happens inside this building, which may not look like much from the outside, but inside, the recruits encounter this. The USS Trayer. It's a 2/3 scale replica of a Navy destroyer ship designed and built by companies that created attractions for Walt Disney World.
Good evening, division! Battle stations is an accumulation of every training evolution you've done throughout basic, mixed with a little bit of sleep deprivation. So I think it's the closest thing any of us are gonna get to what being on a ship's like.
Although the Navy agreed to let our crew film parts of the battle stations event, we weren't allowed to show major details of the scenarios or solutions to the problems recruits have to solve.
So it goes over 17 different scenarios, from firefighting to seamanship, first aid, so all of those combined into one special night.
A special and long night. Recruits are not allowed to sleep during the event.
Doors go.
I do not
Who are you telling?
I do not
Are you
care.
telling me? Are you telling Petty Officer? Or are you telling your CLS? Tell the CLS!
Doors go, CLS!
When they say when you get to fleet, you gotta be able to handle sleep deprivation, you really do. You have to be able to handle doing the right thing, even when it's very stressful, even when you're cold, wet, tired, sleepy, and even when your peers may not be in the right mindset either.
The first scenario we saw involved a burst water pipe in a room full of ammunition shells that recruits had to move while trying to patch the pipe.
If you can't do it alone, ask for help.
They used their firefighting skills to put out a fire that breaks out on board.
We have all the sound effects, the lighting, the smoke, just because we want to make sure it's as realistic as possible. Once you go out to the ship, if there was ever, an emergency situation that happened, we want to kind of reflect that here.
We were allowed to film inside one of the training areas built to resemble the damage suffered by the USS Cole in the deadly attack in October of 2000, with details down to the clock on the wall, which is stopped on the minute the real attack occurred. But when the scenario starts, recruits don't notice such details.
People are dying! People are dying!
They have to locate and evacuate a casualty through thick smoke, over obstacles, and in total darkness.
Some people like working under stress because they say pressure either produces diamonds or it bursts pipes.
It was really fun. I would definitely do it again, maybe after a full night's rest, but I would 100% do battle stations again. It's a night I will never forget.
And once you're done, you watch like a little video. It is in my last video as well, so make sure you go watch that last video. It's at the end where you can change your hat from recruit to Navy, and it's just like, dang, I did it. You'll see so many people crying. Like, I saw like a bunch of people crying because they didn't think they were gonna make it or something.
To receive their Navy ball cap, symbolizing their transition from recruits to Navy sailors.
They realize everything that they have done thus far, all the blood, sweat, and tears they shed, they finally earned their Navy ball cap, and it's a proud moment for all of them.
That morning was extremely emotional. I was definitely more proud of that than anything I've ever done before. Nothing compares to that moment.
Give me all the strain, I take it off my brothers. Give me all the blame, I take it off my brothers. Give me all the pain, I take it off my brothers. Give me all the pain, pain, pain. Give me all the strain, I take it off my brothers.